Have you ever wanted to be someone else? If so, you wouldn't be alone. 13 million people have created an alter identity in Second Life alone. One website. 13 million people have created an alternate life with new relationships, a new body, new possessions, new skills and experiences. When I was 13, I wanted to be someone else. I wanted to be the girl in social studies class right across from the aisle. I sat there and I stared at her because she was so perfect. She was beautiful, she was smart, she had all of the friends. But what's more, she was confident. She was strong. She was a take charge kind of girl. And she was everything that I wasn't. I was shy, I was overweight, I was invisible, I was a wallflower, I was the invisible kid. I felt trapped by my nature because I had always felt so self-conscious. And I stared at her and I thought, I want to be you. And then I realized it wasn't that I wanted to be her. I wanted to know what it felt like to be her. So I closed my eyes and I wished and prayed that for one moment, just one moment, I could open my eyes and see the world from her point of view. And I imagined that some magical spell was passed over me. And when I opened my eyes, of course it wasn't true. But I pretended that it was. I pretended that my wish was granted. But by some magical fairy tale twist of fate, I just couldn't remember it. But for one moment, I had been her. As teenagers, we struggle to find our identity. We put labels on other people and on ourselves, and it creates this separation and division. I was so locked into who I thought I was. I wanted to be someone else. And I was not alone. I found myself in a circle of my peers, and we were assigned to just say our name and where we were from. That simple. And when it came my turn, I spontaneously said, I'm nobody from nowhere. And everybody laughed. And at the end of the session, several kids came up to me and they were like, that was awesome, we're nobodies too. And the Nobody Club was formed. And the Nobody Club went on for 3 years. I had the special privilege of being nobody number 1. I was not alone in trying to find my identity, as if it must have been pre-prescribed for me and I just had to find the direction to get it, to understand it. And then I found myself in a theater class. Now that is the perfect place where you can be somebody else. The very first script that was handed to me was a strong, demanding, overbearing, but weak-hearted grandma. Well, I knew how to play that. I had one of those at home. So I pretended to be her, but then something surprising happened. In the process of playing her, I stepped into her character and I gained new insight to why she thought the way she did, how she felt that she had so little control, so she had to try to control others. I found ways that I was like her and ways that I was different. And when the role was finished, I tried to step out of the character and I found it had left a stamp on who I was, because now I was just a little more demanding. That's when I realized that I could create the person I wanted to be using the same tools and techniques that an actor uses to create a role for the stage. And for the next 30 years, I have created tools and systems to help shape identities, because we don't have to be locked into our nature, who we think we are. We can create ourselves. And the one thing that you can do today is to look at the labels that you've given yourself. The wallflower, the self-conscious one, the shy one, the uncomfortable one, whatever. Even the smart one can hold you back. Look at the labels that you've given yourself, and do they help you get where you want to go, or do they hold you back? Look at the labels and see if those are the labels that you want. Look at the labels that you give to others. Are those the labels that help you solve problems? Do they bring you closer together, or do they create a greater separation? Over the course of experimenting and learning about creating this intentional identity, I realized I no longer have to want to be the girl in social studies class. And recently, I found a little time capsule of treasures from when I was 13, and in it was a bracelet given to me by Nobody Number 2, and it says, "Nobody is somebody." Thank you.